Hey guys, so here we are. It is Monday, was April 16th, and I know I didn't end up doing an update yesterday. The reason for that is, I started trimming off the tabs and everything and ended up just kept going on it. So as promised, we'll give you a little overview. Just a few tabs and stuff. I actually keep a tub of this, and I stick all my scraps in here. You never know when little bits may come in handy for if you're working on a diorama or something like that. So, and I keep it right by my workspace so that, as I trim them off or as I'm drilling something, I can just take the shavings and just drop in there. It seems like I've been using, I mentioned when I did the review for the spray booth that it would come in very handy while sanding and stuff like that, and it has been absolutely phenomenal for that. Though, I still end up getting dust because I move all over my model room working on it. But I wanted to give you an update on what I have gotten done. Let's see if I can do this so without getting too wobbly. As you can see, there are all the hair pieces and the head and some little bits. Haven't done other than cleaned up, worked most of the seams off of, and gotten them ready. I just need to start piecing together, pinning, and of course doing my magnets. So, speaking of magnets, let me show you what I've gotten done so far. So we have the main body. I had to do some finagling, heating up, doing some work in here. It looks like the workshop may have gone a little crazy on doing some grinding. I don't know if this was pre-cast or post-cast. I can't really tell. But I had to do some cleanup and do some finagling up in here using Matt Mrozek's trick of doing the boiling water, setting it in there, and you'd be surprised at, if you leave it in long enough, even big thick pieces like this will soften up enough that you can actually move them around a little bit. It would help if I actually had that in the camera and not looking at it myself. Sorry guys. So anyway, I know I had mentioned before the blemish that's in the zipper area. I got that worked down, and I'm actually going to sit with an X-Acto knife and just scrape in and carve in the missing zipper part, now that I got it down flush in there. And I did that all by hand. This is where cross tools come in handy. What is this? This is a G-Temple scriber, panel line scriber. I think I've got every blade that they made for this, and so that's all that I ended up doing, using that, cleaning out the areas in like here, up in here. Sorry, I usually have the camera like right in front of me. That way I can shoot straight on. But with this being a big girl, I actually have to have the camera sat back. So if it's off, I'm really sorry guys. I'm not used to it. So what I did, I've got on each side, I've got two of these. They're 1/4 inch by 8 inch. In 42s. I probably should have used in 52s. They're a little bit stronger, but these are going to work really well. And so what we've got on the opposite side, and as you can see, I've got a mark. You can see the X on there, not on there. And when I did these, because these areas are close enough together, I actually did it where the positive is running completely this way, so it'll run that way through both legs. That way there's no chance of resistance in between the magnets there. So we've got that. This one I had to knock the key off of. It just wasn't sitting properly. So, and as far as keys, that's another thing that I'm going to discuss. I'm actually going to grind in a new key into the center. It's probably going to be a square or a triangle. That way when they go in, they actually lock in place and won't wiggle around. This one, it's only wiggling because I knocked off that back key. This one, it's just wiggling a little bit. But as you can see, we've got the legs on. And now you guys know why I had to set the camera back. On the backpack, once it's painted, that will go away. All you're seeing is the color of the magnets through there. So, and I've got a magnet on there. And I'm going to actually place a really fine mesh in between here. And I thought about, I haven't completely discounted it. Let me see here. This is going to be loud and obnoxious, guys. This is a birthday card that my wife got me last year. And and that part's getting cut out. So what I'm going to do is take the insides out. Actually, give me... Ha! Fix that problem. Just cut the wire to the speaker. So anyway, I'm going to take out the insides. Well, at least I'm thinking about doing it. Taking out the insides using the little micro flat LEDs. Re-dyeing them if I can. And sticking in so there's a green glow coming through here. If I do that, what I'm thinking about doing is... Here, I'm going to pan it. There we go. As you can tell, yeah, I really wanted her. So, up in here, the one clear piece that goes up on her chest, right there, I had thought about, if I do the light in the back, just continuing forward and doing where the chest glows. But I'm probably not going to end up doing that. I will probably just paint it a really bright fluorescent, in there so it'll show through the mesh. So anyway, let's spin her around. And as you can see, you know, they hold pretty well, so it's not going anywhere. This was kind of muddled up in here. So I used the panel line scriber, clean that up. So we've got, and that just pops right on like so. So we've got like that. And we have, I'm not exactly sure why they did it, but it's still kind of cool. We've got the breast caps on here, you know, and they're marked. Everything's actually marked, A, B, C, D, E, right, left. So let's see here. And again, magnetized. This one I need to heat back up and just heat up a little bit in warm water, just so it'll conform a little bit better. We've got the one arm. Again, on the arms, I'm going to key them so that they sit in there nice and snug. And I'm going to use some Aves epoxy putty, around the magnet to place in there so it'll fit square in there. Right now it kind of shifts around. So we've got that. And I always do that. I always flip it around the wrong way. I don't want to pin it because the way that this goes in, you actually have to tuck in this tip and then down and in. Now, someone asked on my last video how I'm going to achieve the gloss. and the rubber look. I thought about painting it, but I've got some cool stuff that I did that I picked up at Home Depot, and I may need a new can. It may be old, but it's a dipping rubber, and it's used for, you know, tools, utensils. You dip in the handle, pull it out, you let it sit for, you know, a couple hours to 24 hours, and it actually shrinks down. And depending on how long you dip it or how many times you dip it, depends on how thick it is. And I've actually gotten it to be pretty thin on a couple things that I've played around with. So I thought about attempting to do that, like on the neck piece that goes in here and under here, get it to set in there and just trim it out. If I don't like it, I can always just peel it out and paint it with a good rubber color. Because there are actually, I think Testers makes a enamel that's called rubber, and it does. It actually looks like rubber. Okay, so we've got the other arm. Always so gratifying when you hear the snap. The good snap, not the bad snap. Okay, so we've got that. And I haven't done anything with the neck yet. What I'm going to do is I am going to use magnets on the neck and the head. But I'm also going to do a support rod that runs parallel to it. Let me back this sucker up so you can see. So there she is in her glory, at least this temporary glory. Like I said, she is a nice big size girl. This is going to be fantastic once it's all done. You know, patience is key, especially when you're working with all of this hair and everything over here. This piece alone, you can see, if there's enough light over here, there's all kinds of keys in here. So this goes into the part. There's a piece of hair that goes here. I think there's a lock of hair that locks in here, over here. It's a good sized jigsaw puzzle. I'm going to have to figure out what parts I'm going to magnetize, what parts I'm just going to pin, to, once it's all done, pin to glue. And again, up in here, these plugs are going to get replaced with the Kodo parts, the MSG parts. So that is it for tonight. That's what she would look like if her head would stay on, but it won't without all that. And that's another thing too. Her head is going to be very heavy and wobbly. So I still want to do the magnet for the security on there, because I don't want it to stay on permanent, as in gluing on the rods. But at the same time, I don't want to take a chance of it getting bumped and the head falling off. So that's why there's going to be a support rod that also goes through there. So stay tuned. I hope to have an update later on this week. I am really excited and cranking out on this thing. I'm going to do another video here in a few minutes. I just got in a huge box and 8 new kits. And I'm just giving you an overview, and maybe you guys can give me your opinion on what you want to see unboxed. So I will talk to you guys in a few.